More people each day are experiencing terrifying encounters with mysterious entities known as the shadow people. The people in the following videos wanted to share their experience of what they saw and felt and what terrified them. Here are 5 of the most chilling encounters of shadow people caught on camera. If you love watching our videos, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so we will always keep you informed on the most weird and bizarre out there. We also love hearing from you, so leave comments too. Number 5. This shocking video footage was captured by a gamer setting up his game system and testing the live stream. He switches to the night vision mode on his camera when he manages to capture something truly terrifying. Look on the right side of the screen. You can clearly see a dark shadow figure lurking in the corner. The gamer notices the figure and looks back. The entity knows it's been seen and disappears back into the shadows. On the replay, you can see the entity has long, slender fingers and seems to be in a floating motion. The gamer seems visibly shaken of what he just witnessed and switches camera modes to see if anything is still there. Ghost enthusiasts were quick to say the video is real. Skeptics say the shadow figure was somehow caused by the gamer's movement. What do you think? Was this a real shadow person caught on camera? Or was this a glitch in the gamer's camera? Leave a comment below. Number 4. This creepy footage was taken by a CCTV security camera. It shows an office worker alone at her desk, going about her work. The office worker is oblivious to the very strange things beginning to happen right behind her. You begin to see the chair in the foreground start to move and roll away on its own. The chair's movement catches the attention of the office worker when she turns around to figure out what was going on. Her water bottle was knocked to the floor and startled the office worker. She picked up the bottle in some dismay, but dismisses the incident for the time being and goes back to her work. A little time goes by, then suddenly, you see the office worker abruptly pulled backwards while sitting in her chair. In the replay, pay close attention to the area directly behind her chair. You can see what appears to be a dark shadow figure appear out of thin air. It briefly stands behind her, then you see the entity pulling her backwards with great force. You see the dark entity seems to have a human-like figure and motion. It has a head, arms and legs, and it's even seen slightly bending forward, grabbing the chair by the arms and stepping backwards using its legs. The office worker was so terrified by the paranormal activity, she abruptly left and never returned back to work. Is this truly indisputable evidence of a mischievous shadow person caught on camera, or just an elaborate hoax? Leave a comment below. Number 3. This terrifying footage was captured by a home security camera. It shows a woman settling down to sleep. After a while, she is suddenly awakened and abruptly sits up straight in her bed, complaining she couldn't breathe and couldn't move. The woman was able to get out of bed and tried to call for help, but she said, at that very moment, something strange came over her that caused her not to be able to speak. At the same time, a terrifying, dark figure starts to emerge in the foreground. You can see what appears to be a dark shadowy mass lurching upwards, shape-shifting into a hooded entity with faceless features. It makes no sound or acts aggressively. The entity's cold blank stare seems to be directed at the woman in anger. What's so terrifying? The entity's ability to take control over her body without any physical contact to do her harm. What do you think the shadow figure might have been? We'd like your opinion. Number 2. This video was captured by Kent Burris and his channel, The Ghost of Carmel, Maine. When it comes to ghosts and shadow people, Kent has first-hand experience. He coexists with multiple ghosts and dark entities that live in his residence with him. Kent began experiencing very strange activity shortly after he moved into his house in Carmel, Maine. The house was once owned by a funeral undertaker and served as a funeral home in 1906. One dark entity has no reservation in being filmed. In fact, the entity seems to appear when he walks into the room.
Wow.
As Kent walks to the basement, you can actually see a dark figure in the window. You can hear Kent speak to the entity,
in the window again.
when suddenly the entity jumps out of the window and goes under the bed. In the replay, the entity doesn't seem to have a shape, but rather looks like a large, dark mass. For most people, seeing dark entities in their home would be truly terrifying. But Kent seems unfazed by the presence of these entities in his house because he's had hundreds of these bizarre encounters. For Kent, the entities are harmless and he seems to interact with them in some strange way.
Alright, I'm out here.
Watch how Kent walks into the room once again and finds the shadow figure sitting on his bed.
Oh my
You can hear
God.
Kent being
No.
startled, but he is not
Say
scared.
something or do something. Oh my God.
What do you think?
No.
Is the dark entity just a black cat, as suggested on the internet, or is this a real shadow person encounter? You be the judge. Number 1. This chilling footage was taken by a family that said they were experiencing strange things in their home. They set up a security camera in the bedroom to find out what was going on. And here is what the camera captured. In the foreground, you can see what appears to be a dark shadowy figure. At first, the entity seems to be focused with the clock on the wall. The entity then appears to open a dresser drawer and scatter clothes. Shockingly, focus on the picture of Jesus Christ. The entity appears to make the picture bleed from both sides of his forehead. Was this a demon shadow figure caught on camera, or just an elaborate hoax? Let us know what you think down in the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, also turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. See you next time on the most weird and bizarre